One of the really handy features within Perspective is the ability to apply transformations or custom expressions on top of any column or columns values. That allows us to apply, again, business logics, transformation, or even any data cleaning on top of any columns that we have to get it to exactly be the form that we want for our data visualization. Let's see how to do that. So I'm using our superset demo data set, which is available by default from our HTTPS data connector. Let's apply some basic data visualization first. So I'm going to get the total of all my cells per each state. So I'm going to do a group by per state, and I'm only going to select the sales column by holding down Shift and selecting cells, which deselects everything else. This is good. I'm showing the sum of sales by state. Let's say I want to now get how much taxes I owe on each state, and that's a function of the sales. Let's say 10% of sales is the amount of tax that I owe. So I'm going to create a new expression column, and the expression column tab opens up here. First, I'm going to give this column a name, so I'm going to edit the name on the title here, and then I can apply my expression. To get a column value, wrap the column name in double quotes. So I'm going to get the total of sales, so that gets the value of my sales column, and I'm going to multiply that by, let's say, 10%. And then I can hit create. As you type, you also see that expression is automatically getting compiled. So if there's any errors or in your syntax, you're going to see that right away. But this looks good. I'm going to say create. And that pops open a new column here, and I can use that anywhere in my visualization. So I'm going to drag and drop that onto my data grid. And now you can see that in each state, 10% of the sales is attributed to the tax. Now, the syntax of the expression column is within a language called ExpressTK. I'm going to post a link to the documentation, but here's just a quick overview. This language provides a number of different functions, arithmetic functions, mathematical functions like sine, cosine, log, as well as flow control logic here. Let's try some of that. Let's say, let's apply a business logic, something that's a little bit more complex. So let's say I want to get the total sales, but the sales really is a function of state. You know, state of California might have 10%, in the state of New York I have 15% tax, and everywhere else, let's say I have 5%. Let's see how we can do that. So we're going to come back here and start editing the expression again. So I'm going to use an if statement, a flow control statement, and we're going to say, okay, I want if the state, again, column values are in double quotes, equals to, and string literals are in single quotes, equals to California, then return my sales times 10%. Now, else if the state is New York, have a tax of 15%, and else let's return a sales tax of just 5%. So for every other state, we got a 5%. Once I'm happy with this modification, I can hit save, and that automatically refreshes the custom expression or the column values. So you see all the column values change. In the state of California, I have a nice round 10%. In the state of New York, I have a little bit higher percentage tax, and everywhere else I have 5% of my sales here. Again, this expressions, the language is an ExpressTK, is computed on the fly on the data set. So if even you have a streaming data set, the values coming in, it's going to be computed on the fly. And I'm going to post a link of the syntax for these expressions in the comments below.